Echo goes to a riverbank and the black smoke starts creeping up over his shoulder. It seems the monster is about to attack, but Echo sees its reflection in the water and stands up quickly. It then flies back into the jungle and Locke comes out from the trees looking for Echo. We don't see the monster until the very end of the episode. Smokey is in the form of Siamey, who noticeably looks more sinister, and stands in front of Echo. It's also important to note here that Echo says he is not in fact sorry for anything he has done, nor does he seek forgiveness. Siamey replies, "You speak to me as if I were your brother," and then disappears into the jungle. Now we know this is the black smoke manifested as Siamey. The producers already said it, and he's being sarcastic here, saying, "You speak to me as if I were your brother." Being sarcastic is a humanistic trait, so that could lead you to believe that humans controlling the monster somehow. When Echo tries to follow him into the jungle, he's met by the black smoke monster hovering there. It forms the shape of an arm and grabs Echo, slamming him around the jungle. It's also interesting to note here that the path in which the monster moves Echo is the shape of a cross. It goes straight up and then hits one tree to the side and then one tree directly to the other side and then up right before it slams Echo into the ground. And Echo unfortunately dies from this encounter, so this means the total death count directly from the black smoke is 2, Echo and the pilot. In the episode Left Behind, remember Kate and Juliet are handcuffed together in the jungle, and right when Kate hurts Juliet in a fight, Smokey approaches them. Juliet pretends she doesn't know anything about the monster, and they both run and hide from it. It catches up to them, and we see it look right at Kate and Juliet, and 4 flashes of light appear before it retreats. And the next day the monster comes again, but this time comes as 3 small clouds of black smoke instead of the usual one big one. But it quickly forms into one large mass of black smoke and starts chasing them again. Juliet pulls the handcuff key out of her pocket where she's hiding it from Kate and unlocks the cuffs. Then they run through the sonic fence and Juliet activates it. The black smoke hits the sonic fence like it just hit an invisible wall. It makes a loud screeching sound and leaves very fast as 3 different clouds again. And this leaves open the possibility that the monster can separate and be in more than one place at the same time. And then also when the monster hit the sonic fence, he screamed, it screeched, either like it caused it pain or it just was frustrated because it couldn't do what it intended to do. Juliet says, "We don't know what it is, but we know it doesn't like our fences." And then Locke asks Ben later in season 4 what it is, and he doesn't know either. Now remember, Danielle knows clearly what it is, a security system. So I'm guessing the monster is either a huge secret that the others can't let them know about, or that they just flat out don't know, but somehow Danielle does. Okay, and now I'm just going to go over some times the monster may have appeared, but it wasn't clear as to if it really did. Remember back in season 1, in the pilot, when the turbine, when it exploded, when the scene's enhanced and slowed down, you can clearly see a black object swoop down over it, and then swings up just before the turbine explodes. But when we see the same scene from Nikki's point of view in the episode Expose, the black object wasn't there. Now, unfortunately, I thought that was the first time we ever did see the black smoke, but the producer said in a podcast that that specific scene wasn't the monster and that it apparently was a CGI error. Now remember back in season 3, Ben takes Locke to see Jacob, but when Locke turns on the flashlight, Jacob goes wild. But before we see Jacob in his rocking chair, we see a black circle hovering in the air. The scene causes many to believe that Jacob is in control, or actually is the black smoke. Also because the ash outside of Jacob's cabin, it gives reason to believe that Jacob and the monster are connected somehow. Okay, now let's talk about manifestations. The producers even confirmed it that the black smoke can take the form of animals or people, and even dead people. And here's all the examples I could come up with of manifestations of the black smoke. Early way back in season 1, Jack experiences a series of visions where he sees his dead father on the island. He led Jack deep into the jungle and tricks him into jumping off a cliff. Jack continues searching for him, and it leads him to the caves where he finds his dad's coffin from the flight. For some reason it's in there. Jack finds it empty. It's very similar to Echo's encounter where he follows a vision of his dead brother to his final resting place where the body was missing too. In the episode What Kate Did, a black horse appears to Kate that's almost identical to the horse that helps her escape from the U.S. Marshal right before she arrives on the island. A lot of people consider Dave from Hurley's story to be a manifestation of the black smoke, but the producers specifically said that he is not, and he's just a figment of Hurley's imagination. In the episode Question Mark, Ana Lucia appears to Echo after her death. After she says, "A dream like this one," a series of images are flashed on the screen. And also in the same episode, Siamey, he's a manifestation of the black smoke. He tells Echo that Locke has lost his way, and Echo needs Locke to take him to the Question Mark. In the Cost of Living episode, Echo's attacked by a man with a machete, and when he gets the machete and is about to attack back, the man turns out to be the altar boy, remember from the past at the church, who says, "Confess." And the bloodied men, the ones that are attacking him, are the ones that Echo kills in the church from his past. And in the same episode, Siamey appears a lot and says to him one time sarcastically, "You speak to me as if I were your brother." And right after that, the monster appears and kills Echo. In the Through the Looking Glass episode, Walt appears to Locke right before Locke is about to commit suicide in the Dharma Initiative mass grave. And Charlie appears to Hurley at the mental institute multiple times and tells him, "They need you." And since another guy sees Charlie also, it seems like this is just more than, or it could be more than just Hurley's imagination like Dave was. And then Libby, she appears to Michael in this past episode 2 different times off the island and on the ship and tells Michael not to activate the bomb, even though it was fake. Now this isn't for sure a manifestation, but it could possibly be. Dave, Ben's mom, and Sawyer's boar are not manifestations of the monsters according to the producers. In the March 31st podcast, Damon and Carlton were given a list of names and asked whether they were either the monster or apparition or real. And they said Ben's mother was an apparition. They said the wild boar of Sawyer was real. The spider that paralyzed Nikki was the monster. The bird of Hurley, the one that yelled out his name, they didn't want to comment on that one. Dave was a figment of his imagination and or an apparition. Siamey was the monster. Walt, as they say, is the person is real, but there are apparitions of Walt, and then also the monster. So all 3. Kate's horse is in a separate category with Christian Shepherd and Siamey as undead. All who have come in contact with the black smoke have seen things on the island from their past. That means the black smoke takes on the memories and the thoughts of the Losties to manifest itself. Jack, Kate, Charlie, Locke, Echo, Juliet, and Hurley have all experienced so-called hallucinations after having the black smoke experiences. In the 23rd Psalm episode, we see the monster scan Echo's mind, and we see inside the images of the cloud of the black smoke that there's the 3 men Echo killed at the church in his past and the altar boy. And then in the Cost of Living episode, we see the monster produce their actual likeness to Echo. Okay, so now let's talk about the sounds the monster makes. They sound both mechanical and biological. Sometimes it'll sound like a loud horn or elephant or even T-Rex when it's in attack mode. And then when it's in docile mode, it sometimes sounds like a chatter or flapping of birds, or it sounds like growling or chitter sound, or even, like I said earlier, the alien from Signs. It also sounds like a tiger growling, or maybe his stomach's just hungry. I'm pretty sure the chitter, like sound, occurs when the monster is taking pictures, because when it's scanning Echo, we hear the sounds whenever images pop up, and it gets louder. The monster also makes a mechanical chain sound, like it's being pulled on a track, and that happens when Echo is being pulled by his left foot down the hole by the monster. And then also when in the vision where he and Boone are in the airport and he's going up the escalator, you can hear the sound too. And then also when Echo's being killed.